That's what God is. God is consciousness, and quantum physics at this point understands, and has for the last 100 years, understands that the universe is conscious. That's what they understand. That's the foundation of the very science that gives us all the technology we have. That science believes that the universe is conscious. That's the truth. And at the same time, what they believe is they believe that we, you and I, are all connected to that. And we can take that to a higher level. There's a book called The Kabbalion, and it's a book of what's called Hermetic principles. And the Hermetic principles are basically a foundation for all of religions. All religions have that as a foundation, even though they don't know it.
Okay.
And in that book, and this is thousands of years old, the book is, but anyway, but in the book there's 5 different kinds of consciousness within divine consciousness. So you and I exist within divine mind. So it's not that God is out there and we have to work to connect to God. No. God is already in here. We're already connected to the divine already. God knows what we're doing because God hears our thinking, connects to us as a consciousness. We are connected. Okay. And the nice thing, and the thing you'll learn from this class, is that you and I are all connected. I can be connected to you even though you're thousands of miles away with a thought. Like I don't have to do a lot of work. I don't have to work at it. Not at all. I am connected to you. And it's easy, it's comfortable, it's natural, not hard. But in the Kabbalion, it talks about the 5 kinds of consciousness. Does anyone know what the 5 kinds of consciousness might be? Does anyone give me one kind of consciousness that we like divine, that would live and exist within this universe that we live in, within the mind of God? What is one kind of consciousness? The first one is the mineral kingdom. All the planets are conscious. All the suns are conscious. That's why we move. That's why we have crystals and why we wear crystals, because crystals are part of that geological consciousness, which is different than ours for sure, but is still conscious and connected to divine consciousness. So the whole of the mineral kingdom, the whole of the physical universe, really, all the planets, everything, are all conscious on some level. We don't understand that, but that's truth. So that's one, and that's why you have crystals. That's why people use crystals for different things. It's because they are conscious, and because they're in divine mind and we're in divine mind, we are connected to them. And that doesn't mean necessarily they talk to us, but that means we feel them. So that's one kind of consciousness. Can you think of another kind of consciousness? The plant kingdom. Every plant on this planet has a kind of consciousness. And there's a whole bunch of research out there that validates and proves that they talk to each other. They absolutely talk to each other, and they talk to us. But and like I'll give you an example of some research. They hooked a plant up to a something that would measure the plant's response to response, I guess, is the best. Same as with us, they put things on us to measure our response. They did that with the plants, and then the person who was doing the research would take up a knife or a scissors and think that they were going to cut the plant. When they did that, the plant reacted. They could see the plant responding to that. And then when they put the thing away and stopped thinking, it went away, if you understand me. So the plant was reacting, and there's a whole bunch of research that validates that plants have a field, and field is the word that they use for divine mind too, but plants have a field that they give off that connects them. And it connects them in a way that allows them to kind of talk to each other. That's the best way to say it. So if a plant is being eaten by an insect or killed by an insect, what the plant does, it gives off a something, and it may be a hormone, it may not be, anyway, but all the plants around it become aware that this plant is dying from these insects and creates a kind of irritant or some kind of chemical that will dissuade that insect from attacking that plant, so it won't be attacked by the insect. So anyway, plants are conscious, pure and simple. A kind of conscious, living things, a kind of conscious. What would be another kind of consciousness?
Animal.
Go ahead.
Animal kingdom.
Animal kingdom, absolutely. Dogs, cats, insects, amoebas, viruses, all those things are a consciousness. And they're different, again, different than us, not as different, but different than us. And there are some animals that have a conscious very close to ours, and they are self-aware. Some humans are self-aware too. but so that's the third kind of conscious is the animal kingdom. Okay. The fourth kind of consciousness is our level of consciousness. And we can call it human, and for sure, but it isn't just human. The whole universe is full of life, and there are other entities and other beings on other planets in other places that are at a conscious level close to us, and it may be greater, it may be lesser, but close to us. That would be true. Okay, so that's another kind of consciousness. Okay, and the fifth kind of consciousness is the higher consciousness. So there are some humans that can achieve that. So Christ or any of the saints and those, they have achieved a higher level of consciousness that gives them some control over the physical world, that gives them more control, that gives them more connection, and they understand it, they can manipulate it. That's true. That is another kind of human consciousness. But within that group also are the angels and the jinn and all the higher entities that we would understand within religious traditions and folklore, like fairies, nature spirits. All those things would be in that level, on that level. So that's the fourth kind of consciousness. And that's the fifth kind of consciousness. And then living, and all those consciousness live and exist within divine consciousness. Okay, all connected to each other, all connected, different, but yet affecting each other. And it's so as you develop your gifts, you'll become more aware of other levels of consciousness, other connections to consciousness, all those kinds of things. Like communicating with animals is something that we do, and some of it is trained and all that kind of stuff, but some of it is mind. And we can communicate with them on a very high level if we train ourselves to. Okay, so all that's doable, no question about it. The reason I'm telling you all this is because it's important to have a construct that allows you to understand what's happening around you. So in that construct, what we understand is that we live and exist within divine mind. We live in a great illusion. And the illusion is that we are physical. Okay? We are physical. We are not physical. We are mind. That's what we are. Okay. Now, that doesn't mean we don't live in the physical world. We do. But we live in the physical world through choice. We've chosen to come into life. We've chosen to forget what we really are and who we really are. And we've forgotten all of our lifetimes. We forgot why we came into life. We forgot all that stuff.